Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most powerful and emotional moments in the Bible that you might not have heard about. The story of the angel who came to assist Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane before his crucifixion. This is one of those moments that is packed with such incredible significance, and not just for Jesus, but for all of us. Let's unpack it together. So picture this. Jesus is fully aware of what lies ahead. He knows the intense suffering he's about to endure for the salvation of humanity. But before all that happens, he retreats to the Garden of Gethsemane. Here, he prays intensely, deeply distressed, because he knows what's coming. Betrayal by one of his closest disciples, arrest, humiliation, and ultimately death on the cross. It's a moment of deep spiritual anguish. Jesus, fully divine yet fully human, is facing the ultimate trial. It's hard to even imagine how someone could carry that burden, right? But that's when something beautiful happens. The Bible tells us that God sends an angel to strengthen Jesus. This angel didn't just come to be a passive observer. It was there to give Jesus the strength, comfort, and courage he needed to move forward with his mission. This is a divine moment of support, one that shows us that God doesn't abandon us in our darkest hours. Now let's really think about this. Jesus was in agony, sweating blood because of the immense emotional distress he was under. He prayed to God, asking if it was possible to take away the suffering he was about to face. But then he said, "Not my will, but yours be done." That's raw honesty, right? Jesus, knowing what was ahead, still submitted to God's plan, trusting that even in the midst of suffering, God's will was the right path. That's where the angel comes in. In the Bible, we learn that when Jesus was in his most vulnerable state, feeling like the weight of the world was on his shoulders, the angel appeared and gave him the strength he needed to continue. This wasn't just about physical strength, it was spiritual. The angel came as a messenger of peace, of strength, and of courage. For Jesus, it was a reminder that he wasn't alone in his mission. God had sent divine help, and in that moment, he found peace amidst the storm. But let's break it down further. Why is this story so important for us? Well, this is the key. It shows us that when we're facing our own battles, whether they're physical, emotional, or spiritual, we can rely on God's presence and guidance, just as Jesus did. It's a reminder that even when the journey seems impossible, God is there, providing us with the strength we need to push through. Now let's get into some specifics. After the angel's visit, Jesus prayed with even more intensity. He wasn't just asking God to take away the pain, he was praying for the strength to fulfill God's will. Jesus knew he had to go through with this sacrifice for the salvation of humanity, and though it was the hardest thing he'd ever face, he stayed the course. Can you imagine the depth of his struggle? The emotional pain of knowing the exact suffering that awaited him, but still choosing to stay true to his purpose? It's incredible. As the story unfolds, we see how the angels never leave Jesus. Even though he was about to face unimaginable physical pain, they were still there, witnessing his agony, standing by him, yet never interfering. Jesus had the power to call upon a legion of angels to save him, but he didn't. Why? Because he knew that his sacrifice was necessary for humanity's redemption. And here's the kicker. When Jesus finally declared, "It is finished," it wasn't just the end of his earthly suffering. It was the moment when the work of salvation was complete. The angels who had witnessed his suffering now knew that the mission was accomplished. What a profound moment of divine understanding and peace. So, what does all of this mean for us today? The angel who came to strengthen Jesus is a reminder that in our own times of trial and uncertainty, we're never truly alone. God's strength is available to us. Just like Jesus, we can find the courage to face our fears, our struggles, and the challenges in our lives by trusting in God's plan and relying on His support. This story also shows us the power of trusting in God's will, even when it's difficult. Jesus chose to follow God's plan, even when He was in agony. And because He did, we now have the gift of salvation. It's a reminder that sometimes the hardest paths lead to the greatest victories. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the challenges you're facing, this story can offer hope. Just as Jesus wasn't left alone in the garden, we're never truly alone when we turn to God. His strength is always there, ready to uplift us when we need it the most. If this story resonated with you, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this moment in the Bible? How has God shown up in your life during tough times? Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to dive into more inspiring stories with you next time.